The last month has been rather shitty, for me specifically. And I've been rather public about it because my intestinal disease has resurfaced. I've said it on my videos a couple times. I've been in pain. I've been in pain throughout certain points of the day. And in all seriousness, I've really just wanted to stop YouTube for the time being until I'm fully healthy again. But I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't want to do that because I know that all the momentum that I've gained ever since the pandemic started in March, I know all of that will come to a screeching halt. As far as wrestling goes, Raw and SmackDown, I don't even know what else to say. I really don't know. I really don't even know what else to say at this rate. Raw and SmackDown, it has been an absolute chore to watch, but I know that me talking about all the major wrestling shows going on right now, I know that that is going to drive people to watch and drive more eyes because there's people that genuinely care about what others want to say about Raw or SmackDown or NXT or All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, AEW Dark, the pay-per-views. But I honestly feel as though this is making my intestinal disease worse. I really feel as though it's making my intestinal disease worse. And let me tell you something. NXT and AEW Dynamite, they've had some shit shows. They've had some shit shows throughout the course of this pandemic. But at least they're trying. At least they're actually fucking trying. Doesn't seem like Raw and SmackDown even give a shit. And with the limited roster, this should only drive them to try even more. Look what happened this past Monday. 1.6 million. 1.6 million. I would not be surprised if this dips to 1 million. I would not be surprised whatsoever. Matter of fact, I hope it does. I hope it does because that's legitimately the only way. That is legitimately the only way that they're going to actually open their eyes. They're actually going to take this into account and they're actually going to put an effort into their shows. And to be quite honest, I don't even think I believe myself when I say that. I don't even think I believe myself. At this rate, if it wasn't for them driving the phrase, "This is the most unique Money in the Bank ladder match of all time, and the risk is worth the reward," if it wasn't for them shoving that phrase down our throats for the last 3 weeks, I am almost 100% certain that a lot of you would forget that there's a pay-per-view on Sunday, unless you have a great memory like I do. I really don't want to do this. But I know for a fact that I can't risk the momentum of this brand dying. I already did it once. I did it once because I was fucking depressed. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not doing what I did back from October to January. I'm not doing that ever again. I'm not going to fall into that place again. Because if I'm going to be quite honest with you, this is probably the only thing that's really keeping me sane right now. It has been a crazy day. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy month. It's been a crazy few months. It's been a crazy year. I don't even think we're going to get any sense of normality until the fall. But I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I will not go anywhere. I'm going to dissect and analyze everything Money in the Bank related here in this video. Because that's what I do. That's what I do, no matter what's going on. And that is the empire that I'm building myself on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know who I am, you either can't read or you've been living under a rock. My name is DJ Storms. This is the official rundown for WWE Money in the Bank 2020, which is streaming live in 2 days on the WWE Network at 7 p.m. Eastern Time from the Performance Center and WWE Headquarters. I got 3 possible matches that still haven't been confirmed yet. There's 6 matches that have been finalized for the show. And then there are 3 matches that possibly could be taking place. I don't know if it's going to be for sure. We're probably not going to find out the entire card until Saturday, because you know how WWE loves to put out material literally a day before the actual show. But we're going to dissect everything Money in the Bank related, possible matches that could happen, the matches that have been confirmed, and what could the outcomes mean, and what could be the follow-up following Money in the Bank. Couple things before we get started here. Follow me on Twitter, at HistoryMakerDJS. I've been very inactive, but I am slowly starting to get back into it. I've been promoting a lot of material. I've been sending a lot of material to premiere. I've been doing a lot of things in and around wrestling, in and around non-wrestling related things as well, which I will talk about in a little bit. Follow me there on Twitter, at HistoryMakerDJS. Follow me on Instagram and Periscope at TheDJStorms. I am going to be back on Periscope this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Me and Thunder are doing a Thunderscope. He's performing I Love It Loud by Kiss, his favorite band, so if you want to check that out, you definitely can. I pinned the Thunderscope live stream from last Saturday where he performed Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. That's actually almost at 200 views. He's actually very, very pleased and very happy with the love and appreciation that you guys have been showing him. Also, add me on Facebook. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I'll send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. All the links are in the description. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is stormstakeover@gmail.com. If you missed Quarantine with Thunder Episode 6, The War is On. If you want to find out what that means, go click the link in the description. And also, go check out my Dark Side of the Ring review of Cocaine and Cowboy Boots, the Herb Abrams story. That link is also in the description. Out of all the videos that I've been putting up, the Dark Side of the Ring reviews have actually been doing very, very well. A lot of people have actually come to me personally and told me that they love my analytical stances on the Dark Side of the Ring reviews, especially one of my newest fans and friends, Sarah. She is an Aussie. I have a soft spot for Aussies. She has been so supportive of me in such a short amount of time. She is one of the nicest people that I've ever met. She's a pure angel. If you guys know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Shout out to her. I know she's watching. I can't thank her enough for being very supportive of what I do. I can't thank anyone enough for being extremely supportive of what I've done. I can't thank anyone enough for watching, for liking, for commenting. It really does mean the world to me. Even though, I act like a cocky prick. Trust me, and I am a cocky prick to an extent. But at the end of the day, I'm just a random dude from the suburbs of New Jersey that loves to talk about wrestling. So I can't thank you guys enough for the love, support, and appreciation that you guys have been showing me. Both of those links to my videos are in the description. Tomorrow is the Lightning Flash update, where I got some news on a tag team competitor possibly becoming a singles competitor permanently. I also got the rewind for Money in the Bank coming up on Monday, and then the Quarantine with Thunder series, well, will continue. That will continue into next week. Episode 7 will be up on Wednesday, as well as my next Dark Side of the Ring review, which is going to be on the Road Warriors, the last ride for the Road Warriors. That should be a very interesting one. And, of course, I got finals next week, so hopefully I should be finally done with all of that. I will be done with all of that, and I will be finally free for the moment to focus on YouTube solely. I just hope that this holds up. I hope that this holds up, and I can finally be done with this. Got to get these the new steroids that I'm on. Hopefully they start working. But like, comment, and subscribe as always. Try and get this video to 25 thumbs up. Comment down below which match are you looking forward to most at Money in the Bank, and which match do you think is going to steal the show? What are your predictions actually as well? Subscribe, we're on the road to 2K, and hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube, because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. And of course, last but not least, Blue Riot Podcast. My man, the Blue Riot, shout out to him. Go follow him on Twitter, at Blue Riot with 2 T's. Follow the podcast on Twitter, at Blue Riot Pod. Him and me put up episode number 5 of AEW Darkmite, the Blue Riot Storms review. The link to the iTunes podcast is in the description. Him and me, we talked about AEW Dark, that fantastic episode of AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday, and we just bullshitted about loads of other material that might make you question our sanity. But at this rate, I feel as though everyone's losing their sanity here in quarantine. You can find it on all platforms where you find your podcasts, whether it be iTunes, or Spotify, or Podbean, or Anchor. The link to the iTunes podcast is in the description. We're almost at 100 subscribers on the iTunes podcast, so be sure to check that out. And without further ado, let's dive straight into the matches. Money in the Bank 2020. Let's dive into the possible matches that haven't been confirmed yet, but I believe will be confirmed. We got SmackDown tonight in just a few hours. And I believe that one match that's going to be confirmed is Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus, because they had been building that for the course of the last few weeks, where Hardy has had these comeback vignettes and video packages, and Sheamus has really been getting in Michael Cole's face every single time Michael Cole mentions Jeff Hardy after his matches and his victories. Now, I've said before that this is a lose-lose situation. These two men, they have momentum. They each have momentum. And you're putting them against each other, which is ultimately going to result in one of them losing his momentum, which I believe would be Sheamus, only for Jeff Hardy to go into a Universal title program with The Fiend Bray Wyatt after Money in the Bank, and he's going to end up losing his momentum. So you're killing both men's momentum in a few months, and none of their winning streaks are going to result in anything. When in reality, one of these individuals could have easily been Intercontinental Champion. If Sami Zayn is staying home, Sami Zayn is the Intercontinental Champion. Sami Zayn is currently staying home right now because he made the choice to stay home because of this coronavirus. If Sami Zayn was going to make the choice to stay home, why didn't you take the title off of him? Why is it that one of your champions is sitting at home doing nothing? That's what I want to know. If you are a champion, shouldn't you be there? Shouldn't you have one of your main championships, one of the most prestigious championships in the history of your company on the show? If you are not going to work, then why should you be a champion? You're telling me that Jeff Hardy or Sheamus couldn't have held the Intercontinental Championship? You're telling me that one of their winning streaks couldn't have resulted in them holding the Intercontinental Championship? Doesn't really make any sense. If Sami Zayn was going to elect to stay home, then you should have taken the title off of him. His Intercontinental Championship reign is going to go down as probably the most forgettable championship reign of the modern era. Sami Zayn right now is treading Asuka territory. Remember Asuka at the beginning of 2019 where she was SmackDown Live Women's Champion? She beat Becky at the Royal Rumble, and she was taken off of television for a solid month. She had a shitty match with Mandi Rose at Fastlane and then lost it to Charlotte. I don't know about you, but Sami Zayn is treading that territory. This match seems all but confirmed for Money in the Bank. And if I'm going to be quite honest with you, no matter whether these two are great or not, and both of them are great, both of them are fantastic. Matter of fact, I think that these two could very well put on one of the better matches in the entire show, if I'm going to be quite honest. This is probably, if it does get confirmed, it's probably the second match that I'm looking forward to the most. But at the end of the day, this is not going to result in anything good for them. Whoever loses their momentum. Whoever loses is going to go straight back to what they were doing before. And if Jeff Hardy wins, which I believe he will, he's going to fight The Fiend and he's going to ultimately lose. And neither man's momentum that was built up is going to result in anything. So at the end of the day, there's a lot more cons than there are pros. Could it be a great match? Possibly. Quite possibly. But at the end of the day, you're sacrificing Sheamus' momentum only for Jeff Hardy to be sacrificed to Bray Wyatt. Jeff Hardy's winning this, regardless of what happens. Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders for the Raw Tag Team titles. This is a possible match that is happening. It's not completely confirmed. But based on what happened on Monday, it seems all but confirmed at this rate. That the Street Profits will be defending against the Viking Raiders. Why? Because the Viking Raiders beat the Street Profits in a non-title match. And I am going to say the same thing on the Lightning Flash update tomorrow. I'm going to say the same thing. The concept of beating champion or champions to get a title match in the near future, that concept needs to be abolished immediately. It is such a shitty concept. It is so outdated, and it's done to absolute death. And it really gets annoying at times. It really does get annoying. There's no sense of momentum. On the main roster. No one has a sense of legitimacy. Not even your champions have a sense of legitimacy. Viking Raiders, whether you're working with the limited roster or not, you're telling me that you could not have the Viking Raiders get a few more wins over the course of the next few weeks instead of them doing fucking carpool karaoke with Ivar holding a chicken leg, wearing their helmets, and fist pumping out the window? You're telling me that you would rather have them do carpool karaoke than actually have them in the ring fighting and winning rather than just having them beat the champions 6 days before a pay-per-view in order to get a tag team title opportunity. It's ridiculous. It's outdated, it's overdone, and it needs to be abolished. Based on everything, I'm calling the Street Profits to win. No reason for the Viking Raiders to get the titles back. Matter of fact, if they give the Viking Raiders the tag team titles back, it's only proving that they should have never even lost the titles to begin with back in January when they faced Rollins and Murphy. Street Profits are going to retain. More likely than not, we're building towards the Street Profits versus Cedric and Ricochet. And Cedric and Ricochet are going to be the ones to take the titles off of the Street Profits. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Supposedly they're in, I don't know if it's a segment or if it's a match, to be quite honest. I haven't been paying attention to it that much. But supposedly something's going down tonight on SmackDown between Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. I think it may be a match. If it's a match, then I'm probably going to call that match is going to end via disqualification, and we're probably going to get a rematch between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville at Money in the Bank. It seemed as though they were building up towards the match on pay-per-view rather than on SmackDown. I don't know why that they're advertising that on SmackDown, but regardless of that, it would only make sense for Sonya Deville to win, mainly because of the fact that this feud and this program is pretty much centered around Sonya Deville finally breaking away from Mandy Rose. It's been a while, and now that she's finally broken away from Mandy Rose, now that she can get the opportunity to shine on her own, she cut a very good promo a few weeks ago on Mandy Rose, cut a very good promo on her. Now, all she has to do is back that up in the ring. If we can see how she has evolved in the ring, if we can see how she has grown in the ring, if she can apply what she applied to a promo to her in-ring work, I think that Sonya Deville could very well be a solid player in the division, in a division in which they really need legitimate women's wrestlers. And I've been saying it God knows how many times now. Outside of Bayley, Sasha, and Naomi, there is nobody that is a legitimate women's wrestler on SmackDown. Tamina, trash. Mandy Rose, trash. Carmella, trash. Lacey Evans, trash. Dana Brooke, trash. Alexa Bliss, trash. Nikki Cross, she's a decent wrestler, But her character, trash. Absolute trash. Now, this is a possible matchup as well. If this takes place, there's no other way for them to go about it except Sonya Deville gets the win. There's no other way. You cannot have Sonya Deville lose to Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose is not going to result in anything right now. She's embroiled in a love storyline with Otis and Dolph Ziggler. And at the end of the day, I think this is eventually going to result in a tag team match between Otis, Mandy, Dolph Ziggler, and Sonya Deville. Right now, I think Sonya Deville is going to get the win. She needs a win. She needs a legitimate win. Moving on to the main show. The main show, and these are all the matches that have been confirmed so far. This was actually confirmed a few days ago. The New Day are defending the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships in a fatal four-way against Lucha House Party, Miz and Morrison, and the Forgotten Sons. Now, based on everything, I actually thought that the Forgotten Sons were going to face the New Day in a regular tag team match, but apparently this is going to be a fatal four-way tag team match. As much as I want to see the titles off the New Day, I really don't think that the New Day are going to lose here. I really don't think the New Day are going to lose here, considering that they made this a fatal four-way tag team match for more than likely Miz and Morrison to probably take the pin. Miz and Morrison will probably take the pin. Miz and Morrison will be out of the tag team title scene, and the Forgotten Sons and the Lucha House Party are going to vie for the next opportunity. And if anything, I believe the Forgotten Sons could very well get the next title opportunity after this match, and the Forgotten Sons are going to eventually win the tag team championships. Now, that's probably wishful thinking. That's probably a fantasy. It's probably just a dream, because when have any NXT tag teams that have gotten called up from NXT actually went on to have long, lucrative careers, or have actually succeeded in general on the main roster? I mean, just look at what happened to the Ascension, look what happened to American Alpha, End Zone Cast, The Vaudevillains, The Revival, Heavy Machinery. Now, this could be a decent match, but at the end of the day, it really is just lazy booking. It really is just lazy booking. You have the Lucha House Party beat the former champions in an upset win, and then you have the Forgotten Sons defeat the New Day. Again, the champions lose in a non-title match to eventually set up a match with those same individuals. It really is a tired concept. I really don't know what else I can say about that. Based off of everything, I'm going with the New Day to retain. And we're probably going to get the Forgotten Sons versus the New Day probably at the next pay-per-view. There's no other way that I can really see this playing out. Bayley versus Tamina for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I'm taking a look at this card, man. This card is piss poor. This card sucks. This card is terrible. Bayley, you have Tamina. You have Tamina. Nia Jax 2.0. You got mini-me of Nia Jax in a SmackDown Live Women's Championship match. I'm literally fighting the urge to just turn off this video and just walk away. I'm literally fighting that urge right now. Tamina is in a SmackDown. I can't believe that myself. Again, I will state, I have been loving the continuation of the Bayley-Sasha Banks storyline and how their friendship is slowly dissolving and it's descending into darkness, and we're eventually going to get that turn. Sasha Banks is eventually going to say, "Fuck you, Bayley." Trust me, I am very much interested. I'm very much interested in the storyline, but you're telling me you don't have anybody else. You don't have... I fucking hate Nikki Cross's character, but I would rather see Nikki Cross versus Bayley. At least Nikki Cross can actually wrestle. At least she can actually move. At least she doesn't have a busted knee. You have nobody else to put as an interim for Bayley that you have to put Tamina in there. You got nobody else. Nobody. You got nobody. Just goes to show you how awful, how much this division sucks. There's no legitimacy. It's laughable. It really is. It's laughable. Bayley and Tamina. Who cares? Bayley retains. If Tamina wins, I think I may be done. If Tamina wins, I think I may shave off all of it. I'm going to shave off my entire face. I will shave off the sideburns. I will shave the chin strap. I will shave the mustache. If Tamina wins the title, I will shave everything. You can quote me on that. Anyone who wants to quote me on that, you can quote me on that. I will shave everything. And I said that I never would, but I will shave everything. I will shave everything if Tamina wins. Bayley's going to retain. That's how confident I am. Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship. We got a face-to-face with them tonight, actually, on Money in the Bank. There's really nothing else I can say about this that I haven't been saying for the course of the last few weeks. Just get the title off of Braun Strowman, put it on Bray Wyatt. I mean, Braun Strowman's a waste. He really is a waste. I'm a little apprehensive, though. Just a little apprehensive. I'm a little apprehensive because Bray Wyatt is being advertised for this match. Not The Fiend. Not The Fiend. Bray Wyatt is being advertised for this match. I am a little scared. I'm a little scared that the WWE could very well have Braun Strowman beat Bray Wyatt, and they'll go based off of the fact that, oh, Bray Wyatt, he's the one that lost. The Fiend didn't lose. I don't know, some dumb shit like that. You know that some fans will say some dumb shit like that, but get it off. Get the fucking title off of Braun Strowman. Get it off of Braun Strowman. He doesn't deserve it. He never deserved it. Put it on Bray Wyatt. Rectify the mistake. Rectify the mistake from Super Showdown. And now you have the opportunity to build towards Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. Based on everything that's been going on, it seems as though Roman Reigns has pretty much been taken off of WWE television completely, and for the foreseeable future, no mention of him whatsoever. So it seems as though until this pandemic is over, which is probably not going to be for another few months, it doesn't seem like Roman Reigns is ever going to be put back into the Universal Championship title picture. So, at the end of the day, now you have the opportunity to do what you should have done. Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's the one that beats The Fiend for the Universal title. Bray Wyatt wins. He has to. There's no other way. He has to. Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. This could very well be the match of the entire night. This could very well be the best match of the entire night. This is probably the only match that I'm actually looking forward to, even though it shouldn't even be happening to begin with, because it makes no sense whatsoever. What did Rollins do to deserve a WWE Championship opportunity after he lost to Kevin Owens? I got some news on Kevin Owens, actually, on the Lightning Flash update tomorrow. I don't really need to explain why this match doesn't make sense. I already explained that numerous amounts of times. As far as the winner goes, it's quite obvious. Drew McIntyre. Nobody else. It's quite obvious that Drew McIntyre needs the win. It's quite obvious that Drew McIntyre is going to win. It's quite obvious that Drew McIntyre is not going to be some type of transitional champion. Matter of fact, if they put it on Rollins, I don't think that anyone is ever going to get behind Seth Rollins ever again. I think that Seth Rollins is going to take over the role of Roman Reigns, and he's going to be forced into the position when he really doesn't even need to be. Drew McIntyre is going to retain. I'm scared, though. As to where they could possibly go with Drew McIntyre after this. Jinder Mahal's not Money in the Bank. But again, the fact that they have been acknowledging him as a former WWE champion, and the fact that there has been a lot of people in and around the community throwing his name around between now and WrestleMania. Been a lot of people throwing his name around as far as who's going to challenge Drew McIntyre next. They've been throwing him around as the 3MB Dream Match. There was even a tweet put out by WWE's official India Twitter page, at WWE India, the official Twitter page. They put out a dream match picturing Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre in the same photo. I'm genuinely terrified. I hope that doesn't come true. I hope it's not going to come true. I'm praying to God. I'm praying to God it doesn't come true. I don't think I could sit through a Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre WWE Championship program, and it has nothing to do with Drew McIntyre. Limited roster or not, keep Jinder Mahal far away from the WWE Championship. If Jinder Mahal is never showcased on television ever again, I don't think I would even mind. Take Braun Strowman with you. Drew McIntyre retains. WWE apparently confirmed that the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches at WWE Headquarters are happening at the same time. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Nia Jax versus Asuka versus Shayna Baszler versus Carmella versus Dana Brooke versus Lacey Evans. And Allister Black versus Rey Mysterio versus AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan versus Baron Corbin versus Otis. Knowing WWE's track record, they'll probably give it to Baron Corbin and Nia Jax. Guarantee you. Guarantee you Vince McMahon is foaming at the mouth to give the briefcase to either Baron Corbin or Nia Jax. You know, there's some people that are saying that AJ Styles is going to win the briefcase now. AJ Styles isn't going to win the briefcase. AJ Styles even said that he doesn't even want to be world champion anymore. There was a report that came out saying AJ Styles, he's done being world champion. Allister Black and Shayna Baszler are the only correct winners here. Asuka, she's great and all. Trust me, she's great and all. I have no problem if Asuka gets a renewed push. I want to see Asuka succeed, but how much legitimacy does Asuka really have after the last year and a half of shit booking? Nia Jax, don't even get me started on Nia Jax. Nia Jax is a disease to the women's division. Dana Brooke, one of the worst wrestlers employed on the SmackDown roster. Lacey Evans, stiff, uncoordinated, and undoubtedly the worst character in the women's division outside of Becky Lynch's character. Because Becky Lynch's character, well, she's a great wrestler and all that, Becky Lynch's character right now is at the lowest of lows. Carmella, Carmella isn't bad. Carmella's actually a lot better than I remember her, but at the end of the day, you really going to pick Carmella over Shayna Baszler? Shayna Baszler, regardless of what happened at WrestleMania or not, Shayna Baszler right now is still the most legitimate woman in the entire division. Shayna Baszler needs to win. She needs to win. She needs to cash in on Becky Lynch. She needs to hold that title going into SummerSlam. Set up Shayna Baszler versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. If anyone but Shayna Baszler wins the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, it is a waste. It is a waste. It is a complete flop. It is a complete disaster. It's a disaster. This entire match is going to be a disaster regardless. I do not see this match playing out well whatsoever. I actually think that both matches taking place at the same time, it's going to be a complete clusterfuck. How is this even going to work? How are you going to keep up? How are you going to keep up with everything? It really is just going to be one gigantic clusterfuck. Now the men. You take a look at the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Rey Mysterio doesn't need it. Daniel Bryan doesn't need it. I love Otis, but Otis is a tag team wrestler. Otis should still be with Tucker, vying for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. Again, I am still going to say they fucked up with Heavy Machinery, not capitalizing on the Gauntlet match that they had, that great performance in the Gauntlet match, plus Otis's WrestleMania win. You're telling me that all that momentum is not warranted, it is not worthy, or does not warrant a tag team title opportunity at Money in the Bank? Miz and Morrison should have never lost the titles to the New Day. Miz and Morrison should have gone into Money in the Bank as the champions. They should have faced Heavy Machinery, and Heavy Machinery should have won. You could have built up to Heavy Machinery versus the Forgotten Sons at SummerSlam. But no, they didn't do that. AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, and Daniel Bryan, they don't need it. Baron Corbin, don't even get me started on Baron Corbin. Don't even get me started on Corbin. Corbin may be a decent wrestler, but at the end of the day, this King gimmick makes him one of the worst parts about SmackDown. Corbin needs a character change. Corbin needs a new direction. He needs a new lease. He needs a new lease on his career. Baron Corbin needs to be repackaged. I've said it before. I actually said it back in September before I took my hiatus. If the King of the Ring winner is only going to get a robe, a crown, a scepter, and a shitty King gimmick, you may as well not even have the tournament at all. King of the Ring winner should get a world title opportunity. And at the end of the day, The King of the Ring tournament, no matter how great it was, and it produced some great fucking matches, no matter how great it was, it will always go down as a complete waste. Why? Because it resulted in nothing but a shitty king gimmick for a wrestler that realistically should not even be living the gimmick that he is right now. Baron Corbin should have still been alone. Baron Corbin has not had any value whatsoever on WWE television ever since they made him the Constable. He has had zero value. There was a point in time where I was actually advocating for Baron Corbin to take the Intercontinental title off of Seth Rollins at that year's SummerSlam. Or even before. Even before that, I was advocating for Baron Corbin to take the title off Seth Rollins. Before that, so that way Seth Rollins, he could go forth and face Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, in which they should have done that, but they did that at WrestleMania. The only reason why is because Roman Reigns was not medically cleared to compete because he had leukemia. So Seth Rollins slid into that position. Seth Rollins is fucking lucky he got that opportunity. Allister Black is the only man that deserves to win this. There's no one else. Allister Black needs to win this. Allister Black has been on the main roster for over a year. He's gotten victory after victory after victory after victory after victory. And it has resulted in nothing. How is it that you beat people like Tozawa, Benjamin, Cesaro, Zayn, Eric Young, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, Apollo Crews, Austin Theory? Everyone. He's beaten everyone. The guy has beaten everyone. And nothing is to come out of it. Nothing's come out of it. No championship opportunity. No major victory. Nothing. Nothing. You're telling me you have this guy on the main roster with an unblemished record outside of one match against AJ Styles. An unblemished record. Never been pinned outside of that one match against AJ Styles for over a year, and it results in nothing. I was advocating for Allister Black to be the next United States champion. Matter of fact, Allister Black could have very well been the guy to take the title off AJ Styles, but they went with Rey Mysterio and then they gave it to Andrade. Andrade is the United States champion right now. More likely than not, Andrade is going to drop it to Apollo Crews, which realistically I don't necessarily have a problem with. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but the fact that they haven't even acknowledged the fact that Allister Black has all these wins, and no one, whether it be management, whether it be commentary, whether it be Allister Black himself, no one has acknowledged a championship opportunity for Allister Black. Is ridiculous. Allister Black realistically could have gone in for the World Championship at WrestleMania with all those wins. Allister Black was really in top contention for the World Championship. Guy probably has the best win-loss record on Monday Night Raw. Yet, he's got nothing. Allister Black needs to win this. If Allister Black does not win this, it will go down as yet another creative fuck-up. Right up there with Charlotte Flair winning the Rumble, right up there with Charlotte Flair winning the NXT Women's title, right up there with Goldberg defeating The Fiend. Black needs to win. You can tell a great story with Allister Black. Kevin Owens wins the championship from Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. You could have Kevin Owens as the WWE champion. In December, you could have Allister Black cash in, and you can have Allister Black going to WrestleMania 37 as the WWE champion. There's no other way. The matches itself probably are going to suck. But if they get the outcomes right, if they can get both of these outcomes right, whether it be Shayna Baszler or Allister, if they can get these two outcomes right, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to complain about the match. I will promise you, if they get Allister Black and Shayna Baszler winning the matches, I will not complain about the Money in the Bank ladder matches, no matter how bad they are. And you can quote me on that. You know, it's funny, but before I sign out, I really need to acknowledge this. The fact that the WWE has gotten the Royal Rumble winner right over the course of the last few years. They got Nakamura in 2018, you got Seth Rollins in 2019, you got Drew McIntyre in 2020. Not since Jon Moxley winning in 2016 have we had a good Money in the Bank ladder match winner and a cash-in, minus Bayley. Carmella, terrible. Resulted in one of the worst championship reigns in SmackDown Live Women's history. Alexa Bliss is a cancer. And again, the day that she retires is the day I throw a block party. The biggest block party that my state has ever seen. Baron Corbin squandered away for Jinder Mahal, only so Jinder Mahal could go on and defeat Nakamura twice. So Jinder Mahal not only ruined Randy Orton, but he ruined Baron Corbin and he ruined Shinsuke Nakamura. Braun Strowman cashed in on Roman Reigns inside Hell in a Cell, only for Brock Lesnar to cause a non-finish inside a Hell in a Cell match. And then this past year, Brock Lesnar wins Money in the Bank, all because they wanted to have him cash in on Seth Rollins to set up a rematch for the Universal title at SummerSlam. When realistically, it should have been Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Ridiculous. Allister Black and Shayna Baszler are your Money in the Bank contract winners. Nobody else. End of conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of The Rundown. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. I greatly appreciate it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. This has been The Rundown. I'll catch you tomorrow for the Lightning Flash update. Once again, you find out why I am the greatest fucking YouTuber. I botched that. The greatest fucking YouTuber and the greatest wrestling analyst on this planet. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.